The woman had been stranded in the desert for 3 long days and nights. Just as despair began to swallow her, she spotted something in the distance. Gathering what little strength she had left, she packed her things and ran toward it. But as soon as she got closer, she stopped dead in her tracks. In front of her lay an overturned car, and behind the wheel was her husband, the man who was supposed to pick her up. Heartbroken, she staggered toward the wreck. But then, from behind the car, she heard a faint sound. Cautiously, she moved closer and found her daughter alive. It turned out that when Amy's husband had driven out to get her, he'd brought their daughter along. On the way, they had come across 2 poachers. Her husband tried to talk them down, but the men wouldn't listen. Realizing how dangerous they were, he got back in the car and tried to drive away with their daughter, but one of the poachers shot him. By the time Amy arrived, her husband was already gone, leaving only their little girl clinging to life. When the child's condition finally stabilized, they suddenly heard the rumble of an approaching vehicle. The girl grabbed the binoculars and her face went pale. It was them, the same 2 men. Amy and her daughter quickly tore down their tent, brushed away their footprints, and hid behind a sand mound. The poachers had returned to cover their tracks. They buried the husband's body and set the wrecked car on fire. When they finally left, Amy marked her husband's grave with a stone so she could find him again someday. Then, with her daughter by her side, she began the long walk out of the desert. Step by step, they erased their footprints behind them. By nightfall, they found a safe spot to rest. The next morning, Amy woke up to find her daughter missing. Panicking, she searched frantically until she spotted the girl approaching a camp in the distance. Amy didn't dare rush in. She crouched behind a rock and watched. Her daughter entered the camp, asking the people there for help, explaining that her mother was nearby. One of the men seemed kind. He offered her water and promised to help them both get out of the desert. But before Amy could feel relief, a pickup truck roared into the camp. The girl froze in terror. It was them, the same 2 poachers who had killed her father. She tried to run, but one of the men grabbed her and locked her inside a storage shed. Meanwhile, another man began tracking Amy. He eventually spotted footprints in the sand and followed them to a small campfire where he saw someone lying asleep nearby. He crept closer, but the sleeping person suddenly lunged. Amy had set a trap. She broke free of the rope she'd pretended to be tied with, pulled a knife from her boot, and fought back. When the man reached for his gun, Amy struck first, knocking him down and silencing him. Hearing the shot in the distance, the poacher at the camp assumed his partner had taken care of Amy. Relaxing his guard, he started showing off his weapon to his men, unaware that Amy was already sneaking into the camp. She slipped into the shed, used her knife to cut her daughter's ropes, and when the man turned away to answer a call, Amy grabbed her daughter's hand and quietly led her out. They were just about to escape when the girl's foot hit a metal drum, sending it clattering across the ground.